What's up? What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and as usual, I am blessed to have the beautiful, the smiling, the chef herself. Please introduce yourself. Oh, look at the flick of the wrist. Look at the flick of the wrist. Ah.
What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd, and happy to be joining you.
Right, it's a little different rhythm.
Yes, a little bit. You know, we here sipping on our harmless harvest, which is pure organic coconut water.
Yes,
got a little pink tint to it. I'm not mad at it.
You know what I'm saying? It's good for you, and it got a little swag. Much appreciated. If you know someone that harvests harmless, plug us, because we're definitely trying to get associated. But other things that are good to put in your body, right? As you can see, we are in our kitchen this time.
Right.
We switched up the location because the theme and the guest is a little bit different than what we normally have. Today we have the host of the Electric Kitchen, the Alkaline Chef himself, who is Dr. Sebi approved, who's going to teach us the impact that what food can have on your body and making sure that you are following an alkaline diet. Queen, are you ready?
Let's do it. Are you ready for some
alkaline?
I was like,
food.
What am I going to say? Food.
Corniness.
It didn't come quick enough.
Corniness. Are you ready for some corniness is the question. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, we're out. All right, let's welcome Chef Leel to the building, to the kitchen. How you doing, Chef?
Hey.
The crowd went crazy. Yeah, so first off, I just want to appreciate y'all having me here and just giving me that warm welcome. I mean, y'all intro got me hyped, like just off the rip, the whole handshake. I'm like, okay, I want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? So y'all keep doing y'all thing with that green on.
Thank you.
Most definitely appreciate that, I fam. Can you introduce yourself, where you're from, and what is the Electric Kitchen?
Absolutely. So born in Colorado, went to high school and college in Alabama, currently living in New York City. I'm in Brooklyn. I would consider myself a culinary artist. You know, I feel like chef can be a little restrictive. And when we talk about the Electric Kitchen, we're talking about something that's very relative to a man named Dr. Sebi, who through his teachings, I was able to develop as an individual holistically. And so something that he promoted was eating electric foods. Electricity is all around us. We use it all day, but our body's electric as well. You know, and so we really want to operate with foods that support that electricity, or they don't hinder that electricity.
Right. First of all, shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Dr. Hey. But for you, reading your background, you got a lot of your foundation in cooking, I guess, foot in the door from your grandma. So can you talk about that and maybe some of your favorite recipes?
Yeah, that's very important to me, and I appreciate y'all keying in on that. I would say that as a child, just seeing my grandma make things from scratch was always inspirational. You know, and as I got older, I actually found out she actually opened a bakery before, and it was her own bakery. And, you know, a lot of her recipes just came off the dome, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like being able to create in the kitchen was like seeing somebody being able to get nothing and create something out of it. When it comes to the way my grandmother used to cook, I didn't really try to remake those recipes, because what I really did was try to remake the lifestyle that came with that energy. So I want to take the love and the effort that's put into creating those type of dishes, but transform the entire culture of the dishes, because we grew up on Crisco, we grew up on kid cuisine, we grew up on Hamburger Helper, we grew up on barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's, you know what I'm saying? And so seeing somebody who make caramel straight from the sugar is letting me know that I can make my own sauces, I can make my own icings, I can do these things myself, and I can do it how I want to. And so the best part about learning that process is now I can be as greedy as I want. I don't gotta pay 50 cents for extra side of ranch. So that's really where the inspiration comes from. And from there, it's like, it's just a process of, you know, putting together and working with what you have and then creating out of that. That's kind of where the art of culinary, the culinary setting comes from, or the school of culinary arts.
I love that. The like, not necessarily not trying to recreate the same recipes, but just like the methodology of how she came up with those recipes, and that I love that. How did you discover Dr. Sebi, and how has that influenced your cooking?
So I was online. I can't remember exactly if I had a code, whatever it was. I was scrolling and I was finding all type of information, but I don't know if it was just something in my spirit, but I was like, nah, let me check that out, because like, that's crazy, you know? And once I looked at it, it resonated immediately, because the way he presented the information was to tell you basically that all you need to do is rely on nature. I'll be wondering where all this stuff comes from when I could just go with the things that grow around me, or go outside, or, you know, when I find out that he created a guide of foods that are least detrimental to really just the African American, or what I would say is the Aboriginal. So, you know, when I actually was able to confirm how his methodology was able to heal and cure the incurable, quote unquote, and to see those testimonies, that was instant inspiration. Actually, the day after that night, I ordered his compounds. The day that they came, which was 2 days later, I stopped eating, because that's what he said. So I had my first water fast.
Stopped eating everything?
Yeah, I had my first water fast 2 days after I discovered him, because he did that. He said a Mexican told him to stop eating. That's how he cured impotence and diabetes, etc. So I'm like, I gotta stop eating, because it wasn't at that moment. It was also more about applying the information. So I'm like, yeah, this has to happen now. Like, I've been eating out of a trash can for 20 years, you know. So now it's time to empty the bag, and that's pretty much how I was inspired by it.
My question for you is, okay, it sounds like the first like concrete step after, you know, ordering compounds was doing that water fast. So one, how long did you fast, and like what results did you see that made you like feel that made you like further solidify, like, oh no, this is the right way to go, and then start, like, you know, cooking? Like, what was the first step after that to actually start cooking alkaline meals?
Okay, so first, I do want to cover that I was vegan before that. I had just went vegan. I had just went vegan less than a year though. So I was fortunate enough to come across that information while not being too far dragged into the typical vegan processed food lifestyle. So I hadn't been eating Beyond Burgers and nothing like that. I was a vegan who was pretty much eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. My intention was to at least go, I think my initial goal was 21 days. And so, you know, I can't remember a specific day where I was like, okay, this means I have to keep going. But while I was doing it, my breathing changed, you know, so like everything began to feel more clear. And because I had access to his products, and from my experience, they were still integral at the time. My body had never flushed out like that. And like when I took the compounds, I felt them assimilated. So I'm like, this is real. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that I still had energy and I've never intentionally not eating. You know, a lot of times it would have to be upon a flu or some kind of sickness where I don't have an appetite. And so I had every intention on, you know, going. But what happened was I only made it to day 10 because I got into an altercation. And you know, I had an emotional response that directed me towards food. You know, and so that also let me know that from that day on, I was like, I'm not gonna do a water fast again until I'm in an environment and under conditions that support that type of lifestyle or just that type of, you know, temporary circumstance.